Nobody is coming to save you, not when you are tired, not when you are afraid, and not when the world gives you another reason to quit. At some point, you must stop waiting for someone to carry you and become the person who can carry yourself. Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you will understand how to stand alone without becoming weak, how to move without permission, and how to build a life that no longer depends on anyone showing up. 1. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. There is a moment in life when you must accept a truth that is painful, but also incredibly liberating. Nobody is coming to save you. You can spend years waiting for the right person, waiting for someone to understand you, waiting for someone to encourage you, waiting for someone to recognize your potential, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for the fear to disappear, waiting for life to become easier. And while you are waiting, your life is moving. This is where many people lose themselves. They do not lose because they are incapable. They lose because they keep postponing their own responsibility. They say, when someone supports me, I will begin. When I have more money, I will begin. When I feel confident, I will begin. When my family understands me, I will begin. When someone believes in me, I will begin. But what if nobody believes in you at first? What if nobody understands your vision? What if the person you expected to stand beside you walks away? What if the encouragement you were waiting for never comes? Then what? This is the question you must ask yourself, because if your movement depends on another person's presence, then you have given another person control over your future. And you may not even realize it. You are not waiting for help. You are waiting for permission, permission to become disciplined, permission to change, permission to leave an unhealthy pattern, permission to start again, permission to become stronger. But life does not always give permission. Sometimes life simply gives you a choice. You either move or you remain where you are. Understand something very carefully. Doing things alone does not mean you reject people. It does not mean you become cold. It does not mean you never ask for help. It means you stop making your progress dependent on help. There is a difference. A strong person can accept support without becoming dependent on it. A mature person can appreciate encouragement without requiring it. A wise person can walk with others without becoming unable to walk alone. This is inner independence. And inner independence begins when you stop saying, "Who will help me?" and start asking, "What can I do with what I have?" That question changes everything. Maybe you do not have the perfect resources. Use what you have. Maybe you do not have the perfect knowledge. Learn what you need. Maybe you are afraid. Move while afraid. Maybe nobody is cheering for you. Continue anyway. You do not need a crowd to take one step. You need a decision. Think about the person you could become if you stopped waiting for external circumstances to become perfect. Imagine waking up and knowing that your mood does not decide whether you work. Imagine knowing that someone's approval does not determine your worth. Imagine knowing that someone's rejection cannot destroy your direction. Imagine being able to say, "I may not know exactly how this will work, but I will take the next step." That is strength, not knowing everything, not having everything, but refusing to abandon yourself. Many people abandon themselves long before life defeats them. They hear one rejection and stop. They experience one failure and stop. Someone criticizes them and they stop. Someone leaves them and they stop. Their plans become difficult and they stop. But difficulty is not always a signal to turn around. Sometimes difficulty is simply asking, "How serious are you?" You say you want a different life. Then you must become capable of living differently. You say you want peace. Then you must stop returning to everything that destroys your peace. You say you want strength. Then you must stop expecting comfort to make you strong. You say you want independence. Then you must learn to act without constant reassurance. This is where excuses become dangerous. An excuse does not always sound like an excuse. Sometimes it sounds reasonable. "I am waiting for the right time. I just need more motivation. I need someone beside me." I am not ready. Nah, I have been hurt before. Maybe all of these things are true, but truth does not always mean they should control you. You can be hurt and still move. You can be uncertain and still move. You can be tired and still take one small step. You can be alone and still build. The goal is not to become a person who never needs anyone. The goal is to become a person who does not collapse when nobody is there. Because one day you may discover that the person you thought would always be there is no longer there. A friendship may change. A relationship may end. A mentor may disappear. A family member may not understand. An opportunity may close. And suddenly you are standing in a place where there is no one to push you forward. That moment can either break you or reveal you. It reveals whether you built your strength inside yourself or borrowed it from other people. This is why solitude can become a teacher. When nobody is watching, what do you do? When nobody praises you, do you continue? When nobody knows how hard you are working, do you remain disciplined? When nobody tells you that you are doing well, can you still respect your own effort? That is where character is built. Not in applause, in private, not when everyone sees you, when nobody does. You must learn to become your own witness. Tell yourself the truth. If you made a mistake, admit it. If you are wasting time, change it. If you are afraid, acknowledge it. If you are capable of more, demand more from yourself. Do not insult yourself. Do not hate yourself. Do not punish yourself. But do not lie to yourself either. There is great power in looking at your life honestly and saying, this is where I am. This is what I have. This is what I can control. Now the first will begin. No dramatic announcement, no perfect plan, no waiting for the world to agree. Begin. One page, one workout, one application, one difficult conversation, 1 hour of focused work, one decision you have been avoiding. Small actions become identity. Identity becomes character. Character shapes destiny. And this is why the most important person you must stop abandoning is yourself. You cannot control who stays. You cannot control who understands you. You cannot control who supports you. But you can control whether you continue. And once you understand this, being alone begins to look different. It is no longer only a punishment. It can become preparation. Because when you stop waiting to be rescued, you discover something unexpected. You are carrying more strength than you realized. And once you discover that strength, another challenge appears. What do you do when nobody is pushing you, nobody is watching you, and the path ahead is still uncertain? That is where the real test begins. 2. Learn to move even when you feel alone. There is a difference between being alone and feeling alone. You can be surrounded by hundreds of people and still feel completely alone. And you can spend an evening by yourself and feel deeply connected to your own life. The difference is not always the number of people around you. The difference is your relationship with yourself. When you do not know how to be with yourself, silence feels frightening. You reach for your phone, you search for messages, you look for attention. You want someone to tell you that you matter. You want someone to confirm that you are doing the right thing. You want someone to remove the uncertainty. But if you constantly escape yourself, you never learn what your own mind is trying to teach you. Solitude reveals things that noise hides. It shows you what you truly want. It shows you which fears control you. It shows you how dependent you have become on approval. And sometimes it shows you that the person you were waiting for was yourself. This is not a romantic idea, it is a practical one. If you cannot move without someone beside you, then your freedom has conditions. You are saying, I can do it, but only if someone comes with me. But what happens when they do not? Your dream remains frozen. Your decision remains postponed. Your potential remains unused. You cannot build your entire life around the possibility that someone else will always be available. People have their own struggles. People change. People get tired. People choose different paths. People may love you and still be unable to walk with you. This does not make them bad. It simply means you must learn to carry your own direction. There will be mornings when you do not feel motivated. Move anyway. There will be nights when you question everything. Reflect, but do not destroy your direction. There will be days when your progress feels invisible. Continue. The mind often wants immediate evidence. It wants to know that the effort is working. It wants results now. But many meaningful changes happen quietly. A seed does not become a tree because you stare at it. You water it. You protect it. You give it time. Your life works in a similar way. You may practice discipline for weeks and see little change. You may study for months before understanding something deeply. You may work on yourself for a long time before other people notice. Do not confuse invisibility with failure. Some of the most important growth happens before anyone can see it. This is why you must learn to move without applause. Applause is pleasant, but it is not fuel. If praise is your fuel, you will stop when praise disappears. If fear of criticism is your fuel, you will stop when criticism becomes too loud. If another person's attention is your fuel, you will stop when their attention moves somewhere else. You need a deeper reason. You need to know why you are walking. When your reason is clear, the path becomes easier to endure. Not easier because there is less pain. Easier because the pain has meaning. This is an important distinction. A person who knows why they are doing something can tolerate difficulties that would destroy a person who has no clear reason. Ask yourself, why do I want to become stronger? Why do I want to change? Why do I want to build this life? Why am I willing to be uncomfortable? Why is this important to me? Do not answer with what sounds impressive. Answer honestly. Maybe you want freedom. Maybe you want to become someone your younger self would respect. Maybe you want to stop repeating the same mistakes. Maybe you want to provide something better for your family. Maybe you simply want to wake up one day and know that you did not waste your potential. Whatever the reason is, hold it quietly. You do not need to explain your entire journey to everyone. There is power in working without announcing every move. You do not need to tell people what you are becoming. Become it. You do not need to announce every goal. Work toward it. You do not need everyone to understand your process. Understand it yourself. There is a certain peace that arrives when you stop performing your life for other people. You stop asking, what will they think? And begin asking, is this right for me? You stop asking, will they approve? And begin asking, am I acting according to my values? You stop asking, will someone notice? And begin asking, did I keep my promise to myself today? That last question is powerful, because every time you keep a promise to yourself, trust grows. And every time you repeatedly break promises to yourself, trust weakens. This is why discipline is more than productivity. Discipline is self-trust. When you say you will wake up early and you do it, you teach your mind, my word means something. When you say you will study for 1 hour and you do it, you teach yourself, I can rely on myself. When you say you will stop returning to what harms you and you actually stop, you teach yourself, I protect myself. These small moments build an inner foundation, and once that foundation becomes strong, loneliness loses some of its power, because you realize you are not completely alone. You have yourself, you have your awareness, you have your ability to learn, you have your ability to choose, you have the present moment. You have another opportunity to take one step. That may sound simple, but simple does not mean weak. A person who can take one step every day can eventually travel farther than a person who waits for the perfect moment to take 1,000 steps. Do not demand that you feel powerful before you act. Action often creates the feeling of power. You walk first, confidence follows. You practice first, skill follows. You endure first, resilience follows. You begin first, clarity follows. Many people are waiting for clarity before beginning. But clarity often appears because you begin. The road does not always reveal itself from the starting point. Sometimes you see only the next few meters. Take those meters, then the next part appears, then another. This is how life is often built. Not through certainty, through movement. And if you are currently in a season where you feel alone, do not immediately assume that something has gone wrong. Perhaps you are being given an opportunity to discover who you are without the constant influence of other people. Perhaps this season is teaching you to hear your own thoughts. Perhaps it is teaching you to stand without being held. Perhaps it is teaching you that your future cannot depend on someone else's decision to stay, but remember something important. Doing it alone does not mean refusing every helping hand. If someone offers wisdom, receive it. If someone offers support, appreciate it. If you need professional guidance, seek it. Strength is not stubbornness. Strength is knowing when to stand, when to learn, and when to accept support without surrendering responsibility. You can receive help and still remain responsible for your life. You can walk with people and still know how to walk alone. You can love someone deeply and still refuse to lose yourself inside them. This is mature independence. And perhaps one of the greatest signs of growth is when you stop asking people to complete you. You begin to meet people from wholeness rather than emptiness. You no longer say, "I need you so I can be okay." You say, "I am learning to be okay, and I choose to walk beside you." Now, that changes relationships. It changes work. It changes friendship. It changes the way you face failure. Because when your foundation is inside you, external events may shake you, but they do not have to define you. So if nobody is coming today, take the next step. If nobody understands today, keep learning. If nobody applauds today, keep building. If you are afraid today, breathe, observe the fear, and move carefully through it. You do not need to conquer your entire life in one day. You only need to stop abandoning yourself in this one. The world may not give you the timing you want. People may not give you the support you hoped for. Life may not become convenient. But your next action is still yours. And sometimes the greatest turning point in a person's life is not when someone arrives, it is when they finally stop waiting for someone to arrive. They stand, they look at the road, they accept that the road belongs to them, and then they take one step. Because once you learn to move without being pushed, you discover a deeper truth. The greatest battle was never against the world outside you. It was against the voice inside you that kept saying, "You cannot do this alone." And that voice becomes weaker every time you prove it wrong. 3. Discipline must become stronger than your excuses. There is something you must understand. If you truly want to change your life, motivation is temporary, but discipline can carry you when motivation disappears. There will be days when you feel powerful. You will wake up with energy. You will believe in yourself. You will feel ready to change everything. But there will also be days when you wake up and feel nothing. No excitement, no confidence, no desire to work. Those are the days that reveal who you are becoming. Anyone can act when they feel inspired. The deeper question is, can you act when you do not feel inspired? Because your future will not be built by your best days. It will be built by what you do on the ordinary days when nobody is watching and you would rather make another excuse. An excuse can be very convincing. I am tired. Nah. I will start tomorrow. I need more time. I am not ready. I have already failed before. I need the right environment. I cannot do this alone. Sometimes these statements contain truth. You may actually be tired. You may genuinely have limited time. You may have failed before. But there is a difference between understanding your circumstances and using your circumstances as a permanent reason to remain where you are. Discipline begins when you stop asking, "What do I feel like doing?" and start asking, "What needs to be done?" That question is simple, but it can change your life. A disciplined person does not wake up every morning feeling powerful. A disciplined person simply understands that feelings do not always deserve to make decisions. You can feel afraid and still act. You can feel lazy and still begin. You can feel uncertain and still take one step. You can feel discouraged and still keep your promise. This is not about becoming harsh with yourself. It is about becoming trustworthy to yourself. Do not turn discipline into punishment. Discipline is not waking up every morning and declaring war against yourself. Discipline is creating a relationship with yourself where your word has weight. If you tell yourself you will study for 1 hour, study. If you tell yourself you will exercise, exercise. If you decide you will stop wasting your evenings, protect your evenings. If you decide you will no longer chase people who repeatedly reject you, respect that decision. Every time you keep your word, something inside you becomes stronger. Every time you repeatedly break your word, something inside you becomes weaker. This is why small commitments matter. You do not need to transform your entire life tomorrow. Start with one promise. Keep it, then make another. Keep that one too. Slowly, your mind begins to understand something powerful. I can depend on myself. And when you can depend on yourself, you no longer need constant external motivation. You become your own source of movement. That is freedom. Look at nature. The sun does not ask whether people feel motivated before rising. A river does not stop because someone tells it that the journey is difficult. A tree does not grow only on days when the weather is comfortable. Life continues according to its nature. You must learn something similar. Do what must be done, not because it is always easy, because it is aligned with who you want to become. Excuses become dangerous when they become part of your identity. If you repeatedly tell yourself, I am just lazy, eventually you begin behaving as though laziness is your nature. If you repeatedly say, I always fail, you stop giving yourself a real opportunity to succeed. If you repeatedly say nobody supports me, you may begin using loneliness as an excuse for inaction. Be careful with the stories you repeat. Your mind listens. Instead of saying, I cannot do this, ask, what part of this can I do? Instead of saying, I have no time, ask, where am I wasting time? Instead of saying, I am not confident, ask, what small action can build confidence? Instead of saying, nobody believes in me, ask, can I believe in myself long enough to begin? This is how excuses lose their power. You do not defeat every excuse through argument. You defeat it through action, one action, then another, then another. Eventually, your behavior becomes evidence. You no longer have to convince yourself that you are capable. You have proof. You showed up. You continued. You endured. You learned. You improved. And that proof becomes confidence. Real confidence is a quiet understanding that says, whatever happens, I will face it. That kind of confidence cannot be given to you by another person. It must be built. And sometimes the best place to build it is in the moments when nobody believes in you. Because when nobody is clapping, you discover whether you are doing it for applause or for transformation. When nobody notices, you discover whether your commitment is real. When nobody pushes you, you discover whether you can push yourself. This is where discipline becomes stronger than excuses. And once discipline begins to carry you, another challenge appears. What happens when you work hard, remain consistent, and still nobody believes in what you are building? That is where you must learn to build without approval. 4. Build yourself when nobody believes in you. There will be seasons when people do not understand you. They may question your choices. They may laugh at your goals. They may tell you that you are wasting your time. They may remind you of every mistake you have ever made. And sometimes the people doing this will be people you love. This can hurt deeply, because when a stranger doubts you, you can ignore it. But when someone close to you doubts you, their words can enter your mind and stay there. You begin to wonder, what if they are right? What if I cannot do it? What if I fail again? What if I am dreaming too big? This is where you must learn an important lesson. Someone else's inability to see your future does not mean your future does not exist. People judge from what they know. They see your current circumstances. They remember your past. They compare you with what seems possible from their own experience. But your life is not required to remain inside someone else's understanding. You do not need everyone to understand the path you are walking. You need to understand why you are walking it. That does not mean ignoring wise advice. Listen carefully when someone gives you honest criticism. Sometimes criticism contains something you need to learn. But do not confuse criticism with truth. Someone saying you cannot does not make it a fact. Someone saying people like you never succeed does not make it a law. Someone saying you have failed before does not mean you must fail forever. Your past is information, It is not a prison. You have made mistakes. Good. Learn from them. You have wasted time. Good. Use the time that remains. You have chosen badly before. Good. Choose differently now. You do not need to spend the rest of your life punishing yourself for a version of yourself that no longer exists. Growth means allowing yourself to become someone new. But becoming someone new often requires you to disappoint the expectations that others have placed upon you. People become comfortable with the version of you they already know. When you change, they may feel confused. If you were always available and suddenly you create boundaries, they may call you selfish. If you were always quiet and suddenly you speak honestly, they may call you difficult. If you were always chasing approval and suddenly you stop chasing, they may wonder what happened to you. Let them wonder. Your responsibility is not to remain small so that other people remain comfortable. But remember, do not become arrogant because others doubt you. You do not need to prove everyone wrong. This is important. If your entire motivation becomes proving people wrong, then they still control you. You are still moving because of them. True independence is different. You move because you know what matters to you. You build because building is your path. You improve because you respect your potential. Whether people applaud or criticize becomes secondary. This is a much stronger position. Imagine someone planting a tree. People walk past and say, "That tree will never become large." Does the tree argue? No, it grows. The tree does not waste energy explaining itself. It simply continues receiving sunlight, water, and time. You can learn from that. Do not spend all your energy explaining your dream to people who have already decided not to understand it. Put that energy into the work. Let your actions speak. Let time reveal what words cannot. And understand that building yourself is not only about money, career, or achievement. You are building your mind, your emotional control, your patience, your ability to say no, your ability to remain calm when someone misunderstands you, your ability to walk away from what destroys your peace, your ability to continue after disappointment. These are forms of success too. A person can have very little and still possess enormous inner strength. Another person can have everything and still be controlled by fear. So do not measure your progress only by what people can see. Sometimes your greatest victory is invisible. You responded calmly instead of reacting. You walked away instead of begging. You continued instead of quitting. You forgave without returning to the same harmful situation. You chose discipline instead of temporary pleasure. Nobody may know, but you know, and that is enough. The strongest foundation is often built where nobody is looking. And when you build quietly for long enough, something changes. You stop needing people to believe in you, because you have begun to believe in the person you are becoming. But even then, there is another challenge. Sometimes the silence around you becomes heavy. Sometimes you work alone for so long that loneliness starts whispering that you have been forgotten. And that is where loneliness must be transformed from a weakness into a source of strength. 5. Turn loneliness into inner strength. Loneliness can feel like emptiness. You look around and think, where is everyone? You remember people who used to be close. You remember conversations that no longer happen. You remember someone who promised to stay, and suddenly the silence feels louder than any noise. But loneliness is not always telling you that something is missing. Sometimes it is giving you space to discover what was buried underneath all the noise. When you are constantly surrounded by people, you can avoid yourself. You stay busy, you talk, you scroll, you entertain yourself, you keep moving. But when the room becomes quiet, your thoughts appear, your fears appear, your regrets appear, your unanswered questions appear. At first, this can feel uncomfortable, but do not run immediately. Sit with yourself, observe. What are you afraid of? What are you avoiding? What do you really want? What have you been pretending not to know? What relationship with yourself have you neglected? These questions can be painful, but they can also become doors. Loneliness becomes dangerous when you use it to attack yourself. It becomes powerful when you use it to understand yourself. There is a difference. Do not say, nobody wants me. Say, I feel alone right now. One statement turns a temporary experience into an identity. The other simply recognizes what is happening. You are not your loneliness. You are experiencing loneliness, and experiences change. You may be alone today and connected tomorrow. You may lose one relationship and discover another. You may leave one environment and find a better one. Life moves. Do not build permanent conclusions from temporary pain. Instead, use lonely seasons to strengthen your relationship with yourself. Read, learn, walk, think, create, train, pray or meditate if that gives you peace. Build something. Take care of your body. Clean your environment. Organize your mind. You do not need to make loneliness beautiful. You simply need to stop wasting it. There are people who become stronger during solitude because they finally stop searching outside themselves for everything they need internally. They learn how to calm themselves. They learn how to encourage themselves. They learn how to make decisions. They learn how to enjoy their own company. And when they eventually return to relationships, they do so differently. They are no longer asking someone else to save them from themselves. They are choosing connection instead of demanding rescue. This creates healthier relationships. You can love someone without losing yourself. You can miss someone without chasing them. You can care about someone without begging them to stay. You can be alone without believing you are worthless. That is inner strength. And there is a quiet beauty in becoming comfortable with your own presence. When you can sit alone without feeling abandoned by yourself, you have reached an important level of freedom. You stop filling every empty space. You stop fearing every silence. You stop needing constant stimulation. You begin hearing your own inner voice, and perhaps that voice has been waiting for years to speak. It says, "You are capable. Keep going. Learn, then rest when needed. Begin again. Want. Do not abandon yourself." Listen to that voice, because there will always be people who come and go. But the relationship you have with yourself follows you everywhere. Strengthen it. And once you learn how to stand alone without feeling incomplete, you become ready for the deepest transformation of all. You become someone you can trust. 6. Become the person you can always depend on. The final lesson is not simply to survive alone. It is to become someone you can depend on. Think about that. If you knew that no matter what happened, you would not abandon yourself, how would you live differently? You would take more risks. You would recover faster. You would stop begging people to validate your worth. You would make decisions with greater clarity. You would understand that failure is painful but not fatal, because you would know, "I am still here." That sentence carries enormous strength. You lost something. You are still here. You failed. You are still here. Someone rejected you. You are still here. Someone misunderstood you. You are still here. The plan collapsed. You are still here. And because you are still here, you can begin again. This is why becoming dependable to yourself matters. You cannot control what life takes away, but you can decide what you refuse to take away from yourself. Your dignity, your discipline, your curiosity, your courage, your ability to begin again. Protect these things. Do not give them away because someone left. Do not surrender them because one opportunity failed. Do not destroy them because someone criticized you. Your life will have difficult chapters. But a difficult chapter is not the whole story. You must keep writing. And perhaps this is what "nobody is coming" truly means. It does not mean you must live without love. It does not mean you must reject friendship. It does not mean you must carry every burden without assistance. It means you must stop waiting for another human being to become the reason you finally take responsibility for your life. Help may come, love may come, opportunity may come, a mentor may come, a friend may come, but your life cannot remain frozen while you wait. Begin before they arrive, build before they believe, walk before they join you, learn before anyone praises you. And when people eventually come, let them walk beside a person who has already begun, that is different from waiting for someone to complete the journey for you. Your life becomes lighter when you understand this. You do not need to control everything. You only need to take responsibility for what belongs to you. Your choices, your habits, your attention, your reactions, your effort, your direction, your willingness to begin again. That is enough. You may not be able to control tomorrow, but you can control what you do today. You may not know where the entire road leads, but you can take the next step. You may not have the strength for the entire journey, but you can build strength through the next action. And when you fall, do not make the mistake of believing that falling means you are finished. Stand again, not dramatically, not perfectly. Simply stand. There is no shame in beginning again. There is no shame in moving slowly. There is no shame in needing help. The shame would be knowing that your life is asking you to grow and choosing to remain asleep because you are waiting for someone else to wake you. Wake yourself. Choose yourself. Carry yourself. Not because nobody matters, but because you matter too. For too long, perhaps you have been asking the world to prove that you are worthy. Now reverse the question. Can you live in a way that proves your worth to yourself? Can you keep your promises? Can you protect your peace? Can you work when nobody watches? Can you remain kind without becoming weak? Can you remain humble without becoming small? Can you love without losing yourself? Can you stand alone without becoming bitter? This is the person you are building, not someone who needs nothing, someone who knows how to handle what comes. That is strength. And when you become that person, something remarkable happens. You no longer fear being alone as much, because you know that wherever you go, you bring your own foundation with you. You bring your discipline, your lessons, your values, your courage, your awareness, your ability to begin again. And suddenly, being alone is no longer the end of the road. It becomes another place from which you can grow. So if nobody is coming, do not sit down and surrender. Stand. If nobody believes in you, do not waste your life begging for belief. Build. If motivation disappears, let discipline carry you. If loneliness arrives, listen to what it is teaching you. If you fail, learn. If you fall, rise. If the road becomes quiet, keep walking. You were never promised that the path would always be crowded. You were promised only this moment, and this moment is still yours. The strongest version of you may not be created when everyone is beside you. It may be created in the season when you look around and realize that you must take the next step yourself. Take it, then another, and another, until one day you look back and understand that the person you were desperately waiting for was not someone coming from the outside. It was the person you were becoming within. Thanks for watching.